Hello, welcome to another episode of Coming Up Milhouse. Today we are talking about Season 3, Episode 12, which is called Radio Bart. George, would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Bart has a birthday, and Homer's big prize for Bart is one of those microphones that goes through your radio, and you can have your own voice on the radio. Homer thinks this is the greatest prize in the world, but Bart doesn't take to it right away until he figures out that he can play some jokes on people by hiding a radio and making people think that somebody else is talking to him. And Bart starts having fun going around pranking people with this, and then he gets the bright idea to put a radio down the bottom of a well and tell everyone that he is a little boy named Timmy O'Toole, and I'm stuck down the well. And he gets the whole town deciding that he's this little fictional boy down a well. And I actually got Vincent in my way, but that's all right.
No, he's telling the story.
He's telling the story. So he gets away with this for a while, but then Lisa points out that his name is on the radio. He's stuck down there, so he decides to try to retrieve it, and he ends up falling down the well. And that is what we got. So let's go into lines. Want to give me a line?
It's not like those other presents I got him, or the shelf paper I got him even for Christmas. So that was Homer talking about the radio that he was pretty proud of for Bart's present, and I just think that's funny that he got shelf paper for Bart.
He's
for
like,
Christmas.
I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna up at my game this year. I got him shelf paper. I'm gonna win his love yet, or buy his love yet.
Right. With this radio that you can talk through the AM radio station on. So that was my first line. That's early on in the episode, and that was Homer.
My first line is one of the gifts Bart gets in his birthday is a label maker from Patty and Selma, and Bart starts putting property of Bart Simpson labels all over everything in the house. And Homer goes to the fridge and he opens it up to get a beer, and Bart put property of Bart Simpson on the last can of beer, and Homer says, "Oh, there's only one can of beer left, and it's Bart's."
Yep.
And just another buffoonery from Homer that he doesn't know that Bart's not allowed to do that.
I know that obviously, Bart's old enough to drink in Homer's mind because it's Homer and he's just not thinking clearly, obviously.
So what about line 2?
Oh, line 2. Marge, we need some more vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate ice cream. Neapolitan ice cream in the freezer, and all of them are missing chocolate. Vanilla and strawberry are completely fine. The chocolate's gone. So Marge is just going to have to go buy more vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate ice cream at the store. You can buy regular chocolate ice cream at the store. So
he keeps going, chocolate,
chocolate,
chocolate, Then he says we need more of all 3 flavors.
Marge,
you just need chocolate if you're not going to eat
chocolate ice cream. So that's a good one.
That's a good line. All right, so my number 2 line is when the whole town thinks that Timmy O'Toole's down the well, and Bart does a real good job of making them sympathize with Timmy. Krusty decides that he's going to raise some money for Timmy by having a song that is going to reach number 1, and they're going to make some money from it. And Kent Brockman is given an interview to Krusty, and he asks, "What are you going to do with all the proceeds to this song?" And Krusty says, "Well, we have to pay for promotion, shipping, distribution. Those limos out back, they ain't free. Whatever's left over, we'll throw down the well."
We'll throw it down the well. Yep. That's a good one, too.
That's a line that's stuck with me for years.
I know.
I love it. It's so funny, and that's total Krusty, so that was my second line of the day for sure.
Did you have a third runner-up line, or?
Those are my 2.
Okay.
I didn't really think, but go ahead and give me another one if you had it.
Oh, it's fine. I wrote down Sting. They get Sting to help sing the song, and he's being interviewed, and he's like, "Yeah, this is about some kid down a hole or something." He
or
doesn't
something.
even know why. they're singing a song about.
And we all got to do our part.
Yeah.
Oh,
that one
funny.
just struck me as funny, and it might just be the delivery of it and the fact that it's Sting.
That probably really was him doing the voice.
It was actually him
because
doing
that's
the voice,
usually how it is on the show.
Yep.
All right, what about scenes? Want to give me some scenes?
All right, so this episode is one of the best episodes, in my opinion. So it has some really great scenes that you could choose from. But I'm gonna go with they are trying to figure out how to get Timmy O'Toole out of the well, and because no one can fit, the police force is too chubby to fit down there, and so, you know, they're all standing around eating donuts and eating food while they're having this conversation. But my favorite scene is the kind of the setup of trying to get Timmy O'Toole out of the well, and they're using some unconventional methods, and so they have a falcon trainer, and he has Socrates the falcon, and he's like, Socrates here is going to fly down the well and grasp Timmy in his talons and bring him up, and Socrates flies away.
And you hear screams
And
in the background.
And then someone else has a fish hook, and I'm going to put this chocolate on the hook and catch him and reel him up, and that cracks me up. And then Professor Frink says that they're just going to spray liquid nitrogen down the well and freeze him, and then other people can decide.
Future generations can get him because we're going to freeze him.
Isn't that just great?
Lots of good
Yep.
satire in that. Just funny jokes. That's a great scene.
So that was one of my favorite scenes, but that's the one I decided to go with for
I
this.
like it. I like it.
What about you?
Mine, I'm going back to the song, the whole Krusty song thing. I love it, and so
and you sing it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So,
so they cut to the song, and it's like a play on Farm Aid from the '80s. It's so '80s, and he's like, "There's a hole in my heart, deep as a well, for that poor little boy who's trapped halfway to hell."
I have to correct you. It's Band Aid from the 80s.
Band-Aid, whatever. But then you get like a Sideshow Mel cuts in, and we can't get him out, we'll do the next best thing. And then Raimi or Wolfcastle, we go on TV and sing, sing, sing. Then a whole bunch of them, and we're sending our love down the well. I love that song.
Scene?
It's great.
Good.
That is my scene. I gotta go with it.
Well, so I'm going to segue it into winners then.
Okay.
Because my winner was all of us as viewers, because we get that song and we get to watch and listen to that song, and some of us get to listen to that song on a regular basis.
You know, we haven't talked about that on the show much because we're doing these early seasons, but she's got to put up with me quoting Simpsons stuff all the time, and you know, we haven't hit too many of the episodes that I do because it's more of the later ones I probably remember more, but the song here is definitely one that she's got to listen to on a pretty regular basis. So that makes you a winner too. Did you get to hear me sing?
I just said. Yep.
All right.
What about you? What's
my winner's stupid, but I always do that with these, and it's Jasper. Because toward the end of the episode, when Bart's down the well, no one's helping Bart because they don't like Bart as much as Timmy O'Toole. Homer's like, "I'm gonna get you out myself," so he starts digging a hole, and then Willie comes running, and he starts digging, and some other random guy comes, and then the town starts flocking to dig a hole, and Jasper goes. Somebody's like, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" And Jasper's like, "Good old-fashioned hole digging. By gum, it's been a while." He's so excited to get to go dig a hole, so I'm like, "Hey, man, apparently you're a winner this episode because you get to go old-fashioned hole digging."
I didn't even remember Jasper was in the episode, and it's really sad because I love Jasper, but I don't even.
But seriously, he was so excited to dig a hole. So there it is.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Good. And what about your loser?
Well, you probably know who it is, but I came up with an alternative. Do you want me to go with my alternative?
Go with both.
Go with both. Okay, so there's this gag where once Bart's down the hole, the news people are like, oh, I got a scoop. And the scoop is there's a squirrel that looks like Lincoln.
Yep, he looks
All right?
like Lincoln.
And then later in the story, it cuts to Kent Brockman, and he's like, we have an update. And you think the update's going to be about Bart down the hole. And he's like, the Lincoln squirrel has been shot, or has been assassinated. And then there's this picture of a squirrel with a bullet hole in it. So I'm like, the Lincoln squirrel is definitely a loser, man. He got assassinated.
That's
so
true.
There's that. What about you?
That was just one of yours? You had a runner-up?
My runner-up would be Sting.
Okay.
Because he got fired in 1969 by Krusty, and then he ends up digging the hole at the end of it, but he gets shoved out of the way.
I know, Homer just pushes him right out of the way.
And even though he did most of the work, it looks like.
Yep.
And then he had to sing that song, but Timmy O'Toole didn't really exist,
right.
so he gave up a lot in this episode. So Sting, he's my second runner-up on that.
So Sting was in my brain as a loser for this episode for those very same reasons, but I'm going to go with Willie as my loser of this episode.
Willie?
I'm going with Willie because he is the first one that hears Timmy O'Toole down in the well. And so he goes, don't worry, I'm coming. And he runs and he gets on this trusty tractor and he gets honked at because he's on the tractor and that's his mode of transportation. And he's trying to speed down to go get the police, I'm guessing, to get some help. And so he's getting honked at there. Then Homer and Marge come and they're talking to Bart in the well, and then Homer starts digging and Willie's like, oh gee, why didn't I think of that with the shovel? So I felt bad for him there. And then he starts helping anyway, and so he and Homer are digging quite a bit. My big reason why I chose him as a loser, which really everybody that's digging to help is a loser because of this, but they miss out on the Triceratops. They miss out on a spaceship with an alien in it. They miss out on a buried treasure that has a pirate marking on it. So all of those things could have gotten them a ton of money, but they just do this zigzag bypass it. So
I like it.
And Willie was one of the top diggers, so I chose him as my loser for that.
That is very good.
Okay.
That is a great observation. I like that a lot.
Kind of goofy, but there we go.
But that's how it goes on the
roll.
show quite often.
That's how we roll.
All right, that is our episode for this week. Radio Bart. A good one from season 3. I like it a lot.
Episode 12.
All right.
As always, if you have any comments or you would like to post your favorite lines or favorite scenes from this episode, or mention anything else to us, feel free to write in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe underneath over here. Give us a like and a subscribe. And until next time,
Jiminy Jillikers!